The deletions, those in favor?
Aye. Make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
Second?
Okay,
There's a non-public, the non-public meeting minutes to approve as well. We may not have that on the agenda.
Yes, we'll catch it next. Oh, there it is. It's on the other one.
Yeah.
It's on the front page,
Which one?
for the second page.
we've already got a motion for the.
Yeah, we'll do that
It's
consent.
seconded to the
Oh,
consent agenda.
okay.
Any additions, deletions, whatever, hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Make a motion, we approve the non-public meeting minutes, number 1 and 2 of May 3rd.
Second?
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the non-public meeting minutes of May 3rd. Any additions, deletions? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Public input.
This is
Okay.
pretty cool about the Westport Village historical days.
Yeah,
It's pretty neat.
yeah.
Who came up with that concept?
Jan Finnemore, I believe.
Did she? Great, good for her.
The tax collector, Kevin Westcott, is not going to be here tonight. I understand that the two pieces of property have been paid.
Wow.
So
Even the one that was in limbo?
apparently,
Okay.
that's per Mike. So I guess, Ms. Domina,
Hi,
how are you?
I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
Good.
Can I stand in
I'm
particular?
Go
gonna
there
have
if
you
you want.
sit right there. Just take, yeah,
Okay.
that's the hot seat.
How's that? All right. So Cheri, Domina, Chair of the Conservation Commission. Thanks for giving me a couple minutes. I just wanted to kind of fill you in on what's going on, and I guess Exhibit A here is our old open space plan, which has been out of date for a few years. It's dated 2004. So the Conservation Commission has been talking to Moosewood Ecological about updating that, taking a new look at that. But before we start that, as sort of part of that process, we wanted to do an audit of the town's zoning and regulations. And so this is something that will sort of let us segue into the open space plan, but we've been getting a lot of questions from the planning board the last year or so as they update the regulations, you know, asking us about, so we've been working on looking at protecting groundwater in the town, you know, rather than having an ordinance, can we do it through the regulations? And that's something that we tackled the last few months. Another question that they put to us was, you know, why do we have a 125-foot setback between wetlands and septic? So in looking at these questions, we realized it would really help us to get some professional advice on that and look at where we might have some, you know, problems or issues or concerns with some of the regulations in town, or where we might be able to do better in protecting our natural resources in town. So we voted to expend at the last meeting up to $10,000 from the Conservation Fund to hire Moosewood Ecological to do what they call a wildlife habitat and natural resources protection audit. And I think, I don't know if you all got the description of the task that they're gonna do. This was something I think I sent through my, I won't read it if you've already read it.
Page 29.
Yeah, I think we're all set.
Okay. So I just want to know if you had any questions or concerns or thoughts about that. And I just wanted to update you as to what we're up to.
But like you said, I think the regulations are kind of a work in progress now, so.
Yeah, and then we may not, you know, the timing of this, we wish we'd have started a year ago, would have been helpful, but, you know, as you said, it is a work in progress, so it's not something that can't be changed in the future and updated.
Did they give you a time frame?
Yes, I think we're looking at finishing that part of the audit part of this. I want to say by the end of the year, if we can get started ASAP.
The 125-foot setback has been a conundrum since it began, because there was, at the time, there was little, if any, information provided as to why we established or encouraged the establishment of the 125-foot setback, especially when the state's certainly has engineering capability that most other communities recognize. So I think coming to an understanding of that would be very helpful.
Yeah.
Whether it's supported or not.
Right.
But it would be great to bring that to the fore.
Yeah, I did some research into what other towns are doing around the state, and there are some other towns that have 125 feet, and there are some towns that have 100 feet, and there are many towns who have those 75 feet. And sometimes it's a matter of, is it a prime wetland, or is it a wetland of a certain size, or that harbors particular species. And so the more information we get as we update our conservation plan for the town, part of that, they did give us a quote for doing a wetlands analysis, so that if we choose to do that part of the project, which would be an additional cost, but it's something that could tell us where our most important wetlands are in town and what size wetlands we ought to be looking at for more protection versus less protection. So I think, the more information that we have, the better.
Great.
All right.
We all set?
Yep,
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
thank you.
I do have a question on another topic. Do we have time? Yeah.
We haven't even started yet.
With regard to the two properties that we're going to discuss tonight to bring forth to the public, the two parcels on Marcy Hill Road, lot 1619, there's really not too much there that hasn't been discovered, but lot 1613, did you all take a walk of that property?
I did with one other member, and I forget which lot is which. So
It's the one on the south side, the larger lot.
The larger lot.
Yeah, it wraps
okay.
around Emerson and comes back out on Route 12.
Yeah, we did walk up in there a ways. The front of it is really wet. In fact, there was ducks in there. It's that wet. The back of it obviously is much higher and drier, and just kind of a general pine forest like you get anywhere around here.
Would you see it as developable for single-family residents? On the upper portion, not the wet area, but just in general.
Yeah, you'd have to. There's not a lot of room when you're going up the Marcy Hill Road. It's kind of all wet till you cross that brook, and then above that it goes uphill. So I'm not sure where you'd come in. You might have to come in. I guess it is a town road. The residents told me there that goes in next to the garage. The people that own the garage.
It's owned in jointly with Vicky Jagger or Amanda Gunseth or Vicky Jagger and the town.
And the town.
And Emerson has the right of way.
Yeah, because that was not a bad road to get in up that way, and I think that would probably be what would make the most sense. But yeah, we didn't see any issues with developing the drier portions of those lots, or that one lot.
The main reason I'm asking is just to have an understanding of value to some degree, but also value if it were to go on the market, but also value to the town for future development. If it were merged, because there's that Class 6 road that goes over to Birch Road that still shows up on our map. And that comes off of what you were just asking about, the road in between Emerson's and Gunseth's.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that road.
Yeah.
But,
Well, thank you.
all right.
Well, since we're talking about that, I'm going to go on to take a vote on that.
Okay.
And that's under old business C. And we've had our public hearings, 2 of them, and we've heard from the Conservation Commission and the Planning Board. So consequently, I think it's just a matter of vote.
I would need to abstain from the vote on 1619 because that's property that's adjacent to Paul Thomas's. That's the small parcel on the north side. I think I have that right.
All right,
I think it's the opposite. I think that's
Yeah,
the
the
1613.
1619.
Okay, I'll make a motion. You want us to do both together or one at a time?
let's do them separate.
I'll make a motion to vote pursuant to RSA 41-14A regarding the proposed sale of town map lot 16, lot 13.
Is that what you're going to,
No, the one I'm recusing myself from is 1619.
okay. So,
So if we're debating 1613, then I'm back in on that one. And I'll second it for purposes of discussion. The reason I asked the question of Ms. Domina is I don't know what the value of that property is, but if it were looked at in the context of the parcel adjacent to it southerly, there's a potential for additional development for the town. And one thing that I would really not be pleased with is if we were to put this on the market for sale without an adequate reserve. And I don't know how we could establish that without knowing potentially how many lots could go in there. But I would want to see that we put it on the market with the restriction that a conservation easement could not be applied. I think it would be a disservice to the town if we didn't do that.
okay.
I don't know, should we get involved in that though? I mean, if somebody does want to buy it and conserve it or use it for a woodlot.
I don't have any issues with the woodlot, but putting a conservation easement on it means it can never be developed. And I take the same position on this that you did with the lot off on the other side of the road with regard to potential use by the water precinct if that were to develop in the future. I just see this as an opportunity. We don't have a lot of land that's developable in town, and this one would have access off of Marcy Hill Road, and then depending upon the legalities of it, that other entrance off of Route 12. So I'm certainly in favor of it going on the market. I just wouldn't want to see a conservation easement put on it. And I don't know whether we have the ability, well, yeah, we do have the ability. It would be a deed restriction.
Just for clarification for the minutes, are you talking about 1619 now or 1613?
1613.
You're talking about 1613.
I have to recuse myself from
Okay,
19.
That's the one you're talking about. Okay, just want to make sure.
Well, you want to hold off on that until we get some legal input?
Yeah.
I think you have to vote on it within the,
Why don't we shall both until so we can do it all.
That's fine.
Okay.
I'll withdraw my motion.
Well, no, I got to withdraw my second first.
So has it been withdrawn?
It has been withdrawn.
And you have withdrawn your motion. Okay,
Are you voting about, yeah, now you've confused me.
no, we're not voting,
On either one?
no.
Either one,
I
okay.
got Mike. Hello?
Question about Kukowski, did you also about that?
Yeah. You want me to see if we can unmute you? Michael Branley?
Yeah.
Thank you, Cheri.
Thank you, Cheri.
How's that look? Can you get it now? Okay, I'll hang up. Yep. All right, bye.
can you hear me now?
We can.
I
Yes.
I would have a concern about deferring action because I don't know if you then have to restart the whole 4114A process. You have to do the vote within at least 7, but not more than 14 days after the public hearings, so I think you would have to restart the whole process if you don't make an action now. I mean, we could make a vote with that provision that Bill mentioned, which I think is a good one about the conservation easement, or to proceed pending some of these
Michael
items.
Brantley.
And then if it's not legal, it can come back.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. All right, I'll make that motion.
Okay, you made the motion to do what? I'm a little confused.
We're going back to 1613.
16, 19?
13.
16, 13, okay. You made a motion to authorize the sale of that.
Yeah,
Correct.
with the provision that it cannot have a conservation easement put on it
Okay,
for 100 years.
In perpetuity.
In perpetuity, like a conservation easement.
Yeah.
Okay, you got a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none?
Just- I was just gonna say to Bill's point about making sure we get a sufficient amount, we always set the municipal bids up such that the board votes on them. So you'd have an opportunity, and if someone only offered 5,000, you're not under any obligation to sell it.
Good to know.
Thank you, Mike. All right, those in favor?
Aye.
And I'll recuse myself from 1619.
I'll make a motion to put out to bid town map 16 lot 19.
I'll second that. Further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks for taking time off from your conference, Michael.
Thanks for not making me drive from Portsmouth to Swansea for a half-hour meeting.
Could be 20 minutes.
Well, you got to get to 6 for
We
the
have a
public
public hearing
hearings.
at 6, so we're
Yeah.
going to be here for a while.
Yeah.
Okay, what else do we have?
Thanks, Michael.
Yes, sir.
You got a resignation?
Yes.
Matt Stanley, alternate on the Energy Commission.
I'll make a motion, we accept with regret and appreciation for the work that he did, the resignation of Matt Stanley as an alternate from the Energy Commission.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
With regard to the next item, Michael, what's our policy with regard to competitive bid?
So we've normally, well, it varies. We have several different thresholds, but normally over 5,000 gets competitively bid. So it's not really related to the addition project, but it's sort of related, which we waived the bidding policy and just had Mike work as the general contractor for that. So we can certainly get additional bids if that's something
Were
you're
they-
interested in.
So they were the electricians on the expansion?
Yeah, I believe so.
And it looks like the parts on that phase, whatever thing, are right up there anyway.
Correct.
So,
Okay, I'll make the motion to approve or authorize the expenditure of $8,500 from the fire station's capital reserve fund.
second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. What do you got, Mike, for an ambulance service update?
So I provided the board with a copy of the sample letter that we sent out to the 6 towns that had Deluzio as primary customers for our meeting, which is going to be next Tuesday at 6 o'clock. A lot of people were very appreciative of us setting it up and organizing it, so I think it'll be hopefully a worthwhile event. I assume it's safe to assume a majority of the board will be there, so we should post it as a board meeting. Is that accurate?
Yeah,
I'll be there.
Beverly, how's your Tuesday night look?
What date is
23rd.
that Thursday?
Tuesday, the
Next
23rd.
That's
Tuesday.
fine. Tuesday is fine.
Great. And I understand Fact TV is going to be there as well to film and allow some people to participate over Zoom.
okay, covered bridge enforcement, traffic restrictions.
Want me to speak to it?
Yes, that'd be great.
All right, so there's been a lot of public comment pictures, things like that. of vehicles in tow, heavy vehicles and whatnot, going over the Mount Crescent Bridge at Sawyer's Crossing. So I asked about cameras, and I found out through Mike that it's illegal to take a picture of a motor vehicle in this state to either get the registration number, the plate number, or the occupants. So I think I'd like to enter into something where we maybe get the historical whatever on the bridges involved and try and put in a exception for covered bridges or historic bridges to allow us to put a camera and to photograph offenders, and even follow up maybe with some fines and whatnot.
I'm fully supportive of that.
We've got one person that is kind of policing this.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the pictures, yeah, but a lot of people have seen things, and Chief Gonzalez said he, I think it's in the packet, had mentioned how many warnings and whatnot they had given and increased patrols, so. But we still don't know who hits the bridges. We still don't, really get the offenders that are getting pictures taken of them.
Okay.
This is like 3 times the weight going over the bridge,
Yeah.
things like that.
All right,
Yeah, that
so,
last one.
The tractor trailer, basically,
oh, really?
hauling cars.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we got a motion and seconded, right?
No,
No.
I think it was more
Yeah,
consensus to see if we wanted to draft a letter or something and
maybe
get the ball rolling.
get Jennifer involved,
Yeah,
to modify the existing legislation to cover
All right,
historical bridges and covered bridges.
all right, so you're looking for consent,
yeah, I think so.
consensus. All right, so be it. Geez, what else do we have other than public hearing?
How would you like some good news?
Spoken,
Would you like some good news?
We like good news.
The fire department is receiving a $100,000 bequest from the estate of Kathleen Nuttall of Swanzey. I don't know if anyone knows her, but she left in her will $100,000 to the fire department. So Cordell thinks it'll take about 6 months for it has to stay open for 6 months for creditors to come forward. But so that'll be put to good use, I suspect.
Wow, front cover. Front cover
excellent.
of the annual report. That's awesome. That's great news.
Now some bad news.
Uh-oh.
We don't have any.
Today's payday, we didn't get checks.
Uh-oh.
Who's we?
I got automatic deposit yesterday. Where were you?
I get a check.
Probably the
Mike, could
only
you come
one.
over and give Ken his check?
What time do you want me to bring it over, boss?
6 a.m. tomorrow.
Yeah,
We'll have
right.
coffee on.
Right. All right. What else we got? Yes, Gus.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to Mr. Brandon sometime tomorrow. So if he's on here now, if he give me a jingle tomorrow morning, I'd appreciate it.
Did you hear that, Michael?
Was Mr. Lorando asking me to give him a call?
Yep.
I would be happy to.
All right, thank you.
6 o'clock, Gus?
All right with me.
Anything else?
Well, I think I commend you on the bridge. I think I got a little bit more history on it. Contact DOT. I mean, I don't know how many representatives we have in Swanzey. I always thought there were 3. So you just have 1.
Obviously, we'd send a letter to the 3 representatives and go from there. But Michael had forwarded some of the laws where they exempt some of the bridges, the big important bridges,
Yeah,
you know, for Homeland Security purposes. So
Yeah, I mean, that's all part of that.
these are our big important bridges here in Swanzey. So it'd be nice just to add that to that same law, maybe, or that same RSA.
The bridge back to the state, and let them say, have at it.
They don't want it.
Blame them. You could put a double wide bridge down there that really, that was good.
Michael, we got 3 minutes to 6. Can we open the public hearing?
I don't think anyone will arrest you, so
I mean, there's no one else here.
you don't see, have Gus look outside and make sure people aren't coming in.
I locked the door.
Now, that's a public hearing. Yeah, no, I think that's fine. It's really just a formality to have the hearings anyway. Reading that notice will take you at least 3 minutes.
There you go.
What notice?
Notice of public hearing.
And the return thereon.
But as far as I'm concerned, we don't need to read it.
Does Ken know he's going down to Westport June 3rd?
I think it's both days he's going to be there, right?
Oh, 3rd and 4th? Okay.
I don't think so.
They're looking for a judge for the pie eating contest.
Don't forget Memorial Day event in a couple weeks. 2 o'clock.
What's that?
Memorial Day Parade,
Bill's birthday.
That's right.
29th.
What time is that, Michael?
2 o'clock. One of the sessions I went to at my conference was at the Portsmouth wastewater treatment plant. They had just done, well, but last few years had done almost $100 million upgrade. And I was talking to the director of public works, telling him a little bit about our situation, and his suggestion, which is one we thought of and maybe we should continue to think of, is just to try to pipe everything to the Keene plant versus trying to maintain the separate plant in West. So obviously that's just off the top of his head, but he's a guy who knows a good amount about what's involved in these sort of plants. So just thought
Did that 100 million include the new sewer main across the bay or whatever? Or?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, they started out at 85 million.
Hey, Mike,
Yes, sir.
is Mike Jasmine coming in?
He is not.
So we'll defer on the recreation department's office space.
Yeah, we can defer that to next week.
All right.
That's out of the 14 days, though.
All right, well, listen, we can open up the public hearing
Yes.
pursuant to RSA 3195B regarding the acceptance and expenditure of unanticipated funds. There's A and there's B. The first one has to do with an amount of $135,000 from the state of New Hampshire for the demolition grant for the Swanzey Garden project. Discussion, hearing none.
What's the Swansea Gardens project?
What
is the Swansea?
I have no idea.
Did you say that's Route 12, Mike?
Yes, it was the Asher project. It's now owned by SMC Swansea Gardens.
Oh,
Up past the Ford
Z
garage.
Industries was? Do we make this after the public hearing is closed?
Right.
your motion? Or,
Well, yeah, we can close the public hearing.
okay,
Well, we want to do the next one first, though, right? We want to do B.
Do either. But we can do B, which is the acceptance and expenditure of unanticipated funds in the amount of $334,960 from the state of New Hampshire for the Homestead Mill project.
Michael, how was the 334 derived?
So they had put together an estimate. They actually got less than what they had asked for. The total allocation to the town can be up to 500,000. So the three requests totaled over 500,000. So they got less than what their request was. But it's basically, my understanding is to demolition basically the middle portion, the old red wood portion of the building.
Yep.
But they did receive an estimate, is my understanding.
So with these funds, we're receiving them, and then are we then granting them to the developers to do the work?
That's correct. We're just a pass through.
Okay.
And the third project was the Fraser Mill on Summer Street.
Are we waiting on that one?
That we already did that one. Timing wise,
did.
that one
Okay,
came out
that's right.
sooner. Yeah.
All right, all set,
All set?
all set.
Okay. We'll close the public hearing.
Make a motion that we accept and expend the appropriate funds as listed in 6A and B.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Is that for both or just,
A and B, yeah.
it is for both? Okay.
That's it.
Are we doing this? The
We have
non-public?
a non-public done.
Oh,
We have a non-public?
Just the one, Mike?
Yes.
Do you need to be here for it?
Either way, I can be, or if it's pretty straightforward, either way, whatever works.
Make a motion, we go into non-public under 91A,
Second.
under what?
A:3HB.
What he said.
So you're all in after this one?
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you, Gus. Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded.
Beverly, you ought to call the roll, maybe?
No. Jaruzelski?
Aye.
Walker?
Me.
Colby?
Aye.
You
We
get
just
to-
want to
you
shut
get
off
to
the.
Shut off, yeah.
Yeah. Except for Mike.
Recording stopped.
Michael, you still there?
Yes, I don't think there's anyone else on Zoom, but I don't know if he needs to do anything with Facebook Live. Yeah, that would be great.